ಕಾರ್ಯಕ್ರಮವನ್ನು ಉದ್ಘಾಟಿಸಿದ ಎಲ್ಲ ಗಣ್ಯರಿಗೂ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. ಇದೇ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರಿಗಾಗಿಯೇ ರಚಿಸಿರುವಂತಹ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರ ಕೈಪಿಡಿ ಎಂಬ ಗ್ರಂಥವನ್ನು ಬಿಡುಗಡೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕೆಂದು ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲಿರುವ ಗಣ್ಯರನ್ನು ವಿನಂತಿಸುತ್ತೇನೆ. ಎಲ್ಲರ ಜೋರಾದ ಚಪ್ಪಾಳೆಯನ್ನು ನಾವು ನಿರೀಕ್ಷೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೇವೆ.
Thank you, everyone. Dear audience, it is time for our special guest to share her thoughts on today's topic. Now, I would like to invite Srimati Lauren Lovelace, Consul for Public Diplomacy and Public Affairs, U.S. Consulate General in Chennai, to present inaugural speech.
Hi. Vice Chancellor, Dr. Usha Rani, Registrar Professor Sunandama, Dr. Onkar, fellow journalists, students, educators, journalists, editors, and friends. Namaskara. I want you to know I'm here today with my wonderful, wonderful colleague Hema, whose native place is Hampi. And she is not just a fan of Kannada journalists like yourself, but also Kannada literature, Kannada poetry, all things Kannada. And so I'm sorry that all I can offer you today in Kannada is Namaskara, but I have brought one of the greatest proponents of your beautiful language with me today. So I would like to welcome or thank Hema for being here. I would not be here today if it wasn't for Hema and also for the invitation. But she's been telling me for 2.5 years now, since I've been in India, we have to go to see my native place. We have to go to Hampi. We have to go to Vijayapura. So thank you, Hema. So on behalf of the U.S. Consulate General in Chennai, and we are in Chennai, but we represent all of South India, that's Tamil Nadu, Karnataka, Kerala, Andaman Nicobar Islands, Pondicherry. I want to thank all of you for the opportunity to be here to inaugurate this 2-day seminar entitled Women Journalists, Problems, Challenges, and Opportunities. Now, I'm married to a journalist who's traveling right now. I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But he's emphatic that, and I agree, free information, access to information, it is absolutely a necessity for democratic society. At the local level, at the national level, free information, and that's what journalism is all about, providing information to the public, researching it, basing it in fact, following it with data. That's what you do, and that's what I thank you for. I'm very honored to be here also as a proponent of women and women's empowerment. Just delighted to be here, Vice Chancellor, at the Karnataka State Women's University. It's the only women's university in Karnataka and one of very few, actually in India, I think, that are dedicated exclusively to women, to women's education, and making higher education accessible, excellent higher education accessible to women of all backgrounds. So thank you, and really kudos to you and to your faculty for all of this. So as was mentioned, I'm the consul for public diplomacy and public affairs. And what that means is that I read a lot of news, I watch a lot of news, I listen to the radio a lot, I follow what's going on in India, and I work together with Hema to promote press freedom, promote freedom of speech, promote free access to information, advocate for gender equity and gender equality, not just for women, certainly for women, but also for transgenders and others. I work to ring, and also just as we just saw with this handbook, really ring the alarm, build public awareness about the problem, the challenge, and the rising and increasing issue of disinformation, not just here in India, but also in the United States, also across democratic societies, also all over the globe. So I'm so delighted that Dr. Onkar and the journalism department, the mass communications department, is going to be taking the initiative to do a specific program on countering disinformation. It's so welcome. You absolutely have the support of the U.S. consulate in this endeavor, sir. And I hope that this handbook will be a useful resource and guide for you. So I wanted to come to Vijayapura today for several reasons. One, because my friend told me I should definitely come here and see her beautiful state of Karnataka. I wanted to see it with my own eyes. I wanted to see Golgumbaz. It is a world treasure. All of you are from here should definitely see it. A bit of reporting for those of you who are just visiting. Believe me, it is true information. It is not disinfo. It is really a world wonder, and I would recommend that you see it. And I'm going to be telling people back in the U.S. mission to India, in Delhi, and friends in the United States to definitely come here and look at this place as a wonderful tourism destination. I also came here because I just want to meet you, see all of you there, and I don't know if we'll have time. I hope we'll have some time today to talk, but I want to hear you, and I want to listen to you, and I want to understand what you view as your problems, what you view as your challenges, and what you see as some of the opportunities, as relate to journalism, as relate to academics, as relates to being a woman in the professional world. So I want to hear your thoughts about everything from Namaste Trump, where I recently got to go to Ahmedabad and support President Trump's visit hosted by President Modi, to what it's like to be a graduate or soon-to-be graduate looking for a job in the journalism field. The third reason I'm here, and we just discussed it, is that we are launching this Countering Disinformation Handbook. This was created, as you'll see when you get a copy, in partnership with the Asian College of Journalism. And we did it because disinformation is growing. I'll give you an example. You heard in my bio that I've worked a lot on refugee issues. And the level of disinformation, or the level of false information, or the level of lies that are being told about refugees worldwide is so distressing to me personally and to me professionally, because what we find, based on data, based on research, is that the vast majority of refugees, women and children, they contribute to their societies. There's no correlation, there's no connection, there's no logical tie between refugees and terrorists or terrorism. And that's a narrative. That's a disinformation narrative that's really out there. So that was one of the things that I was working on before I came to India, and countering disinformation. And it's something that I continue to be very passionate about. And the fourth thing that I wanted to do is just give you some advice based on my own experience as a woman working in a male-dominated profession. So, looking at you students, and also, I guess your teachers, in India and in the United States, women dominate. Women like you dominate, not just dominate in terms of numbers, but also dominate in terms of scores, academic scores, dominate the journalism school classes. Women dominate J school classes. But women are underrepresented in the newsroom and on the editorial boards, which is unacceptable. It's a statement of fact. It's true in the United States, it's true in India, it's true worldwide, and it's not acceptable. And that's why we're here to promote you. We're here to see your talent. And that's why this conference is so important on today, today and tomorrow. So for this issue, for this difference between the number of women in journalism schools and the number of women who get jobs in journalism, for that to change, we need to identify what are the barriers to entry. What is stopping women from getting in? And we have to be very honest about this. What is stopping women from getting into top jobs in the media profession? It's not talent. The most talented journalists and editors I know are women. So the barrier to entry is not talent, it's something else. Do we agree? We agree. You're talented people, you know that this is true, yes? Okay, good. Thank you. You're with me. What is the barrier? It involves access. It involves opportunity. Those are different things. And it involves asking. So I want to, on the disinformation piece, and in addition to doing the countering disinformation work, I heard from Dr. Onkar and the Vice Chancellor last night that the journalism department is going to be also looking at doing programs possibly on investigative journalism, which is very closely tied to disinformation, and also on developmental journalism. That's fantastic. So here, we have 49 students in your journalism school. We have master's degree students, we have PhD students, 49 of you. So access involves being able to be in this school, and so you're very fortunate, you are, that's done. Being able to take these kind of courses, having teachers and professors and deans who care about you and are forward thinking in their vision about what matters in terms of your career and your professional career. Networking. So of you 49 batchmates, I think that's what it's called in India, you should know each other, and you should support each other. And you shouldn't be, please, I beg you, do not be competitive with each other and try to drag each other down. Build each other up, and what you'll find professionally is that when you have that foundation of friends and colleagues, you will all rise together. Believe me when I'm telling you this. So opportunity is knowing what's possible. Not just looking to people like your Vice Chancellor and Dr. Onkar, your Dean, and your teachers, but also looking for what is possible. And I want to use an example, Dr. Usha Rani, who I'm so delighted to share the dais with today. Such a superstar. She has not once but twice received an incredibly I guess the highest level of U.S. exchange award, which is called the Fulbright Nehru Fellowship. She's done it not once, but she's done it twice. She went to Syracuse University, as I understand, and also the University of Southern Illinois. Yeah, it's amazing. And we're celebrating right now the 70th anniversary of this program. And so when I mentioned, access, you got it. You're doing well. Opportunity, you got to look for it. So I don't know if someone actually came to Dr. Usha Rani and said, please, 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 please apply for this, and here's all the applications filled out, and here's everything done for you. She did it herself, am I right? She took the initiative. She looked for what was possible. And she made the most of it. Sali. Shush. Okay. Now I'm going to talk about asking. If you're wondering who I just spoke to, it's my son, Solomon, who's 6 years old. And this is about asking, and for women especially, it's about work-life balance. Asking and not being ashamed or shy or quiet when there's something that you need or you want. not being bitter or sad because you didn't ask and someone, usually a man, asked instead. I mentioned that I worked recently on the presidential visit to Ahmedabad. I was the lead diplomat working for the American side on setting up Prime Minister Modi's welcoming for President Trump at that stadium. Did you guys see the stadium event? 115, 125,000 people. It's a big event. The reason I got that is I sort of asked. I was talking to my boss, and I said, there's this big event in Ahmedabad. Who do you have to work this event? And he said, I don't know. I said, oh, it's interesting. I've worked 4 presidential events before, and got a lot of experience working with the MEA. And he said, oh, okay, well, yeah, I think I'd be pretty good. So that's how I was chosen. I was chosen and selected, but it's because I asked. Another example is why I'm in Hampi. Or sorry, why I went to Hampi in the past couple days, and now why I'm in Jayapura. It's because Hema asked me 2.5 years ago, basically met me, said, hi, my name is Hema, come to Hampi, come to Vijayapura, come to my home. She asked, and she kept asking, didn't you? Yes. Constantly asking. It was like, if I see Hema, we sit down for a tea, it's like, so when are you coming to my home? Ask. And the last one I'm just going to give as an example is my son. I mentioned my husband's a journalist. He's traveling right now. So I had to make a decision. What do? Do I leave my son home in Chennai? I bring him with me. So I asked. I asked my boss. I said, "What do you think? You know, he's a good, child. He loves Legos. He'll sit there and, as he is, play with Legos, and he'll be perfectly happy. Can I take my son with me, which is going to make it a lot easier on me as a professional?" And what did he say? He said, "Of course. Of course." So you got to ask. And even though I've been in this field 20 years, I never forget to ask. You've got to ask for the jobs. Women, you must ask for the jobs that you want. You must ask for the fellowships. You must ask for the awards. You have to ask. You write the awards that you want to be nominated for, you hand them over, and you say, here's the award. And I will say that the registrar was telling me that asking is not a problem for you students. But just remember that. Right now, you're students, you're getting a lot of support. I'm glad you're so confident. But just remember this in the workplace. You've got to ask for the work-life balance. You have to ask for that. If you don't ask, then you won't get an answer. You got to ask to sit in the front row. 60% women today in the front row, that's pretty good. That's what I would expect, maybe a little bit better out of women's university. Very happy that my son is learning at the feet of these women here today as part of the 60. But I guess in conclusion, I would say, access, you've got it. Opportunity, you got to look for it. Ask, you got to do it. You make someone say no to you. Usually make a man say no to you repeatedly. They say no, you come back. If they say no and they have a reason, you fix the reason, you fix it, you fix it, you fix it, and you come back, and you be tenacious. Yesterday, I was so proud of him because we were walking in Hampi, and there were these little flowers that were growing in this just absolute dirt. And I said, "Solly, do you know what that is?" And he said, right with me, tenacity. He didn't say, this is this type of flower, like what that was, and I was that's something we say, tenacity. That's just believing in yourself, making it happen. So in conclusion, thank you for listening to me for this long. I welcome all of you, students, to please come visit us in Chennai, Gemini Circle, at the American Center. We have the largest holding of American Studies materials in South Asia, or one of the largest. I don't want to be disinfo. We have one of the largest holdings in South Asia. We would welcome you there. Any student from this university who comes there will receive a free membership. You just have to tell them. If there are materials that we have that you're interested in, just contact us. We'll send it to you. And with reference to the title of today's, I'd ask that you use our Misinformation, Disinformation Handbook. And with reference to the title today, Women Journalists, Problems, Challenges, and Prospects, or Opportunities, I would ask that you really think about the difference between a problem and a challenge. What is a problem? A problem is something that you recognize is obstructing you. That's a problem. How is a challenge different from that? A challenge is something you say, okay, this is obstructing me. I'm going to do something about that. So let's start talking about challenges. And then a prospect or an opportunity is what you're going to do. What are you going to do once you get past that challenge? Very happy to be with you today. Very happy to be in beautiful city of victory, Vijayapura. My name means victory. Lauren means victory in Latin. So I feel like I'm home. And namaskara to you. Thank you to the organizers. And I wish you all the best. Thank you.
Thank you, madam, for enlightening us with your valuable thoughts. Now, I would like to invite Professor Usharani Madam, ICSSR Senior Fellow and Retired Professor, Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, University of Mysore, to deliver the keynote address.
ಹಲೋ, ಗುಡ್ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ನೂನ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ವೇದಿಕೆ ಮೇಲೆ ಆಸೀನರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಅಕ್ಕಮಹಾದೇವಿ ಮಹಿಳಾ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯದ ಸನ್ಮಾನ್ಯ ಕುಲಪತಿಗಳಾದಂಥ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಸಬಿಹಾ ಭೂಮಿಗೌಡ ಅವರೇ, ಅಮೆರಿಕನ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿನ ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಅಫೇರ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ಪಬ್ಲಿಕ್ ಡಿಪ್ಲೊಮೆಸಿ ಆಫೀಸರ್ ಆದಂಥ ಮಿಸಸ್ ಲಾರೆನ್ ಲವ್ಲೇಸ್ ರವರೇ, ನಮ್ಮ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ಸಹೋದ್ಯೋಗಿ, ಈ ವಿಶ್ವವಿದ್ಯಾನಿಲಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಪತ್ರಿಕೋದ್ಯಮ ಮತ್ತು ಸಮೂಹ ಸಂವಹನ ವಿಭಾಗದ ಅಧ್ಯಕ್ಷರಾಗಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸ್ತಾ ಇರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಓಂಕಾರ ಕಾಕಡೆ ಅವರೇ, ಅಮೆರಿಕನ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಹೇಮಾ ಅವರೇ, ಮತ್ತು ಕರ್ನಾಟಕ ಮಹಿಳಾ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರ ಸಂಘದಿಂದ ಆಗಮಿಸಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂಥ ನಾಡಿನ ಹಿರಿಯ ಪತ್ರಕರ್ತರೇ, ನನ್ನ ನೆಚ್ಚಿನ ವಿದ್ಯಾರ್ಥಿ ಮಿತ್ರರೇ ಮತ್ತು ಸಹೋದ್ಯೋಗಿಗಳೇ, ಮಾಧ್ಯಮ ಮಿತ್ರರೇ, ಮೊದಲು ಸಬಿಹಾ ಭೂಮಿಗೌಡ ಅವರನ್ನು, ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಸಬಿಹಾ ಭೂಮಿಗೌಡ ಹಾಗೂ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಸರ್ ಓಂಕಾರ ಕಾಕಡೆ ಅವರನ್ನು ಅಭಿನಂದಿಸುತ್ತಾ, ಅಮೆರಿಕನ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಿಂದ ಬಂದಿರತಕ್ಕಂಥ ಶ್ರೀಮತಿ ಲವ್ಲೇಸ್ ಅವರಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ನನ್ನ ಒಂದು ಕೀನೋಟ್ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ಸನ್ನು ಇಂಗ್ಲೀಷ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ನಾನು ಮಂಡನೆ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. ಯಾಕಂದರೆ ಹೇಳುವಂಥ ವಿಷಯ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟಿದೆ. ಆದ್ದರಿಂದ ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ನನಗೂ ಕನ್ನಡ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಗೊತ್ತು, ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂಡ ನಾನು ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಹೇಳಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಇಷ್ಟಪಡ್ತೀನಿ. At the outset, I wish to congratulate Professor Sabiha Bhumigowda, as well as Professor Onkar Kakde and his team for organizing this most relevant and most important seminar at this point of time. A word about the university. This is a mono university, but it is playing a very important role in the enrollment of girls in big numbers in higher education. And this is perhaps Professor, it shows the commitment and the dedication of Professor Bhumigowda. I have a word of appreciation for my Department of Journalism and Mass Communication. I must tell Srimati Lovelace that this department is one of its kind. And it's rare to find this kind of infrastructure in the journalism and mass communication departments across the country. And it is professionally run, and it is being used to the optimum extent. And the most unique feature of the department is they draw girls, from the marginalized sections, from the rural areas, and this is one of the backward areas of the state. And you train girls, and in the most, unusual profession, extraordinary profession, that is journalism, in this part of Karnataka, that itself is a big thing. And I have even posted this, I have shared this in my Facebook post, that this is one of the well-run, professionally run courses in journalism and mass communication in the country. So I wish to, and I must tell you, look, it's easy to run a course, it's easy to put up infrastructure, but you need the support of governance, both governance and the department should go hand in hand. I must thank Professor Bhumigowda, the Vice Chancellor, for the excellent support that is given to the department for running this course very meaningfully. And a lot of journalists are being graduated from this course, and they're working in the media houses in the country. And this is a seminar on national seminar in collaboration with the National Commission for Women. And I am going to focus my presentation on the issue of towards gender equality in digital newsrooms. So this is where I have found some changes of women's participation after the women's participation in digital space in this country. And so I brought some cases wherein I would like to share some of my thoughts. I would like to reflect on what is going on in the industry. And all of us know that media has framed women as an object of desire. This is not only special to India, it is across the globe, across the cultures. This is the same thing. The media's perception of women is entirely different from what the reality graph is. And and before we go into the debate of media, I wish to share some information about the profile of women in India. And that is, we have a lot of problems as far as the socio-economic, demographic features of women is concerned. The profile of women is not as bright as it should be in India, because we have the issue of early marriage, MMR, that is maternal mortality rate, then we have infant mortality rates, and we have sexual harassment, domestic violence, and abuse and discrimination, and the issue of child brides in the country. And these are the issues that we have. And the most important thing, the literacy issue. So the literacy in the rural parts of the rural India in general and rural Karnataka in particular is very, very pathetic. And we need to work on that. And the government has come with